Boo, 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 boo. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Flawless Fantasy Football. This your boy, Flawless, back with a very important waiver wire. One of the most important waiver wires going because we're getting up into crunch time. Week 12 waivers. And I'm going to be honest with you, after I was doing my research, I thought we might not have much to go off of. But once I got to do my research, like, damn, it's a lot of options out here. So, yeah, we just going to hop right into it, man. Welcome back. As you guys can see, your boy all garbed up in the San Fran Louis bucket hat. Yeah, with the string, with the shirt. Yeah, you see that thing looking nice, thing fresh. I ain't worn it out the house now time. Get a little backdrop on this shirt. Actually, one of my little sweet potentials back in the day could have, you actually got me this shirt. It was nice. It was, it's even, it's even personalized. Check this out. Check this out, guys. Check this out. Look at that. It got Anthony B on the back. Yeah. So, it was a very thoughtful shirt. I really liked it, she could have been the next Miss Flawless Fantasy Football, but she was scared, though, So, like the new Drake and 21 Savage album that just came out, her loss. That was just a little, 21 Savage, the name of the album, her loss. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, that was just a little jokey joke. I'm sure she's doing fine. She's a good girl. We converse here once in a while. But check it out, guys. Let's get to the video. Let's get to the content. Man, I understand, guys. It's tough. It's close. It's so close. Sometimes, you're right in the mix still. But you got to fight it all the way through. See, this is what I swear, I know you want to be in first or second place. Some of you are. I thought that my son lost this past week. But he won. I'm like, damn. And guess what? He had Josh and Mike and stuff too. And sometimes you just get lucky. Although, too, he's also playing in a 12-man league. And that's what a lot of you guys, the majority of you guys, you're playing 10-man leagues. And I'm not knocking 10-man leagues. I was going to make a video about that. But I don't want to make it seem like I'm knocking it. But to truly be able to take advantage of the Flawless channel, it's best to be in a 12-man league. Because 10-man leagues, sometimes I look at, y'all ask me, who should I start out of these people? Well, how about like I'm looking? I'm like, you got great options even on the bench. But in 12-man leagues, it's not like that. You have to play people that you're kind of unsure of and dicey. And that's the beauty of playing in a 12-man league. So if you could, not to say you want to stretch your league into making it seem like you want to get two players in that aren't going to be committed to the league. But if at any point in time you think it's possible to get an additional person, get two people in, man, trust me, it's going to be that much better because you'll be able to use more insight and more in-depth analysis to be able to get gold mines. Because, I see some of you guys, Cole Kmet, never got picked up on waivers. Out all those good weeks he had, So it's wild. But nevertheless, you got to work with what you got. If you got 10, you got 10. But I find that 12 is that perfect number. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Let's start with the quarterback. So first, I'm going to give you a little caveat that I'm only going to speak on people that's going to players that's going to be able to help you this week, okay? This week. Week 12. I don't want to hear nothing about, this guy might be there for next week and this and that. No. But it's speculative ads. You can do speculative ads on your own if your team's already set. But I'm talking about for waivers, I'm talking about people that can help you this week. All right? So let's get to it. Let's get the quarterbacks. We're going to get down to it. God damn, I'm looking fresh as hell. This shirt ain't even never been worn, I swear. Still got the tag on it. Let me see if I got the tag on it. I had to put it in. I cherish the shirt. Look at that thing. That thing still got the seal on that, but that thing still got the seal. So I should have showed y'all that, but I'd be stunting. So I got to get back right, get fresh, act like you can see that tag real quick. All right, yeah. Pop a collar, pop. All right, let's get to it. Let's get the quarterbacks. Quarterbacks. First, we're going to start off We're going to talk about him, then I'm going to flash him up on the screen so you guys can see him later. First, we're going to talk about Jimmy G. Jimmy Garoppolo, four freaking TDs, man, against Arizona. But if you know my Niners like I know my Niners, and I've been telling people, I told people, if I had one person asking me, who's going to win, Blake Cutter? I say, if you got $1,000, put it on the Niners, because they're going to, and just like Kanoa Bill said, I think it was Kanoa Bill. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Kanoa Bill. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. That, no. Whoever it was, one of y'all awesome guys out there, hit me up and said that my Niners got ushered in. Got ushered, they ushered Niners that victory. So, and guess what? They did. I want to get off to the rant, but first play of the game, Rondale Moore goes out and hurts himself, and then they force feed in Hopkins because he's the star, and of course, you gotta give them, get a people in Mexico a show, so Hopkins, while 49ers just eat them up and eat their secondary up. It's so freaking staged. I'm saying that as a Niner fans, guys. I call it like I see it, Jimmy G plays against the Saints this week. That guy's continuing to put up, 20-point games. And he had a 30-point fantasy game this past week. So he's a great streamer. If you got an issue, let's say if you was relying on Justin Fields, and it's really not to be conclusive what's on Justin Fields yet. I've been hearing mixed reports. Hearing that he may miss some time. Here he might be day-to-day. I heard he was out for freaking a year. So we'll see what actually happens with that as far as solidifying the source. Trevor Lawrence plays at Baltimore this week. Past two games, he's had 22 points and 27 points. He's got weapons, Trevor Lawrence, so he can throw the ball around and dump it off to ETN. He can run. He can get cheap points. He's a great option this week as well. Baltimore's offense is out of sorts, so it can possibly happen, and Trevor Lawrence can have a good game. This is if you have quarterback issues for some type of reason. Jacoby Brissett. And I never thought I would say this, but this is his last game playing against Tampa Bay. Now, granted, Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay, but they ain't the same Tampa Bay. They closer to the old Tampa Bay than the Rams are, the old Rams. And go figure, the Rams personnel is the same personnel they had last year. The same ones, the same Aaron Donald. Oh, my finger. But they're trash. You want to know why? Because they're paying the piper. Look, y'all won last year. You're going to suck this year. Just that simple. They want to try to blame it on Stafford, this O-line. Oh, look, no. Try to tell you guys, man, pay attention. Pay attention. You just don't go from being freaking great, elite, and everybody's scared of you until everybody get walking on you. But Jacoby Brissett, last three games, he's had 25 points, 22 points, and then 33 points. Man, that dude been balling. So this is his last game before Deshaun Watson comes back. He got Cooper, he got Peoples-Jones, and he got Njoku, who just came back last week, didn't do much. And Tampa Bay is going to be worrying about trying to stop the run, trying to stop Nicholas Chubby. So the passing game should be open for Brissett, the short, precise passes and everything. So, and just a little addition, of course, Geno Smith playing against the Raiders and Brady playing against Cleveland secondary is also a good play this week as well. But for the three that I'm actually listing on here is Jimmy G, Trevor Lawrence, and Jacoby Brissett. But also Geno and Brady are good plays. Let's move on to the running backs. Running backs. Those tote masters. Okay. Poor Melvin Gordon finally got the cut. He fumbled on the goal line, and they just wasn't taking it no more. They had to blame it on somebody, because Lord knows they ain't going to cut freaking Russ. That sorry some B. They ain't going to cut him. He need the one to be. No, everybody that endorsed wanted to go get him. They should have just went on ahead and just put Sierra on the freaking roster. They have a better chance at being productive and getting the ball to Sutton and everybody else. Russ. Broncos, let's ride. That dude is so freaking weird, man. Poor little joker. He should have stayed with that little chick that he got drafted by that had that little horse mouth that had like, like that, that did that, that he was all like, should have stayed with her because Sierra done screwed your head up. You don't know how to act when you get under that freaking black kitty cat, do you, Russ? Stupid, weak, freaking whip that tail. Probably twerked on him and everything and just blew his mind up. All right, let me stop. This is children might be listening. Shouldn't be, but they might be. Latavius Murray is number one back there. Even Boone not supposed to be back this coming week. They play against the Raiders, so the dude should he had 17 targets last year, so he should easily get 17, 18, if not 20, and get the goal lines. But the thing is, he don't catch. He might get 1 or 2 catches or something like that. But it is what it is. You're trusting an aging plotter, but if you need him, he's a great play this week. Samaje Perine may be the starter this week because Mixon got hurt early in the game. Thanks, Mixon. Ended up getting 29.5 point fantasy points on 3 receiving TDs, so he should be the man over there. He did not run efficiently, so he should be the man if Mixon don't play or clear the protocol. But he didn't rush effectively. He only had like 11 rushes for like 30 yards, so he didn't rush effectively, but he had 4 for 53 and 3 TDs, so that's going to count for something. And third is Cam Akers. Cam Akers is still out there on waivers, or he's been dropped recently because of the mess that's been going on, but just today, the Rams deleted Darrell Henderson. He's off the squad. So just him and Kyren Williams there. And K. Williams is basically just the receiving back. So they're sticking with Cam. At the end of the day, you look at it, and they're committed to Cam for next year. All right? That's the truth of the matter. He ain't going nowhere. Nobody don't want him. So Cam Akers is going to be the number one starter there for next year, for what it's worth. All right? Now, I did not mention, because you should know already, that go above Latavius Murray, Samaje Perine, and Cam Akers is freaking Isaiah Pacheco and Rachaad White. I've been talking about them for weeks. They've been on the report. Hell, I've even made a trade for Rachaad White to build up my going postal league. Guys, these guys are the truth. You saw the breakout in Pacheco. 17 carries of over 100 yards. If he get receiving work, that dude's going to be dynamic, but they don't throw it to him. Plus, when they get down to the goal line anyway, they got a freaking Patrick Mahomes and freaking Kelsey stats. So they're never going to use him like Jamal, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, like Jamal Charles. He's not going to be that type of back. But he rushes, and if he can break one, which he will do eventually, the dude will be a stud. He could easily be a league winner attached to a high-profile offense. So Isaiah Pacheco and Rachaad White are the main two off the rip. But for this week, it's Latavius Murray, Samaje Perine, and Cam Akers. But the other two I prioritize more, Pacheco and Rachaad White. Let's move to wide receivers. Wide receivers! Listen, guys. Josh Palmer may be out there on waivers. I'm keeping 100 with you, man. One of my league in the second league. Since Mike Williams was coming back and this and that on the moves I made, I just cut the beat because I was mad about what he did to my Niners. But then again, I should have just sat back and been like, they ushering the Niners through. Herbert throwing the ball like freaking Aaron Rodgers was throwing it. But I was just like, okay, just freaking buy. But at the end of the day, remember I was telling you, it's like when you get Mike Williams, you know what I'm saying, to use him as get Palmer's insurance. Just like with y'all saying getting Dobbs in case for insurance, you know what I'm saying, Lazard insurance, but it didn't end up being Dobbs because he got glassed out, but he showed the potential, ended up being Christian Watson, attached to these high-end offenses and stuff like that. So that were late, and it's coming to fruition with those said offenses. Josh Palmer, though, he had 27 points last week against KC, favorable matchup because you got to throw to keep up with KC, right? So favorable matchup, you're going to play against them all the time. But this week, for the next 4 games, they play against Arizona, Raiders, Miami, and Tennessee, man. Like, damn. He should have a freaking great stretch. I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to hold him. Should have a great stretch. See, the thing is with Palmer, I like Palmer. But I don't think he's a number one. He needs somebody else out there to take the attention away. So then he could just get stupid. Like the first play of the game when they had over there with the Chargers, they did some crap to Keenan Allen and something like that or whatever. Then they ran this play, and then that's when he got, went over the top, across the. They were because he had other players on the field with him. They were just going through the motions, and he got the high quality looks. All right. But hey, he should be good going forward. I don't know if I'm actually gonna go out there and snatch him up. I'm saying, or whatever. I got other stuff. I'm trying to go snatch him back up. I still do have him going postal though. I ain't slip on that one. It wasn't necessarily to say I slipped, but I kept him in the first main league. Treylon Burks, man, he came up Thursday night. Man, he had 7 catches for 88 yards, 14.6 half-point PPR points. He had 7 catches on those 8 targets. He plays the Bengals this week. That might be a little bit of a a little shootout. It's possible, But then he played the Eagles week 13, so you want to be careful about that. But this week, Treylon Burks looked like a good play. Third is Demarcus Robinson. Okay, Demarcus Robinson. He had 9 targets in this game here, and guess what? He had 9 catches for 128 yards. He need that big body person to throw to. He's the number one there. It's not Duvernay. Duvernay's too short. He's shifty. He's a little small. Like that type of guy. He's not the number one. Demarcus Robinson, the number one, and he's been balling. And nine targets is saying something. Now it could have been a little bit because Andrews was a little nicked up or whatever. But hey, you can't argue with the numbers. Now I didn't mention Christian Watson because that's obvious. Dude scoring 5 touchdowns in the past freaking 2 weeks. That's a no-brainer. So if he's out there, he should be first on your list. But he shouldn't be out there because if he is, you're playing a fucking crap league. Pardon my freaking French. Dude don't need to be scoring 3 touchdowns and then 2 touchdowns and still be out there. Should have been already picked up. All right. So 3 wide receivers, Josh Palmer, not excluding Christian Watson because that's automatic. But Josh Palmer, Treylon Burks, and Demarcus Robinson. All right, let's get to the tight ends. Tight ends. If you get any substance, any value out of this video, press like, comment. Let me know what you think about said personnel, the people that I'm putting on my list to play this week if you bought that life. All right? Let's talk about the tight ends. Juwan Johnson, he was on my list. He's been on my list like the last couple of weeks. Scored another touchdown. Went 3 for 47 and a touchdown. Next 3 weeks, he's a tight end 8 over the season. And this week he plays against San Francisco though. Okay, so that's tough. Then he plays against he plays against San Francisco, then Tampa Bay. So the good, and then you have a bye week 14. So the good run might be coming to an end, but can't argue with the results of the touchdowns because it could be like he scores the touchdowns because if he didn't, he'd have probably had like 5.5, 5.9 or something, 5.7 fantasy points or something like that, somewhere along those lines. 6.2 or 6.3 or something, whatever. But it is what it is. He's been balling, and hey, if it's been a touchdown, I doubt it'd be Kamara, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, but we'll see. Well, James Conner did score too as well, but Juwan Johnson. Number 2 is Dawson Knox, man. Dawson Knox is heated up. He had 7 targets, 7 catches for 70 yards, 10.5 fantasy points. They play on Thanksgiving against Detroit. It should be a freaking Buffalo should eat them for freaking brunch, late brunch, early dinner, and dinner. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, yeah. And then late night snack. That's what it should. So, Dawson Knox is a great pickup as well, starting to get the targets and involved in offense. Taysom Hill went 9 for 52 rushing, was under the center a lot. Yes, against the Rams, he was under the center a lot. Plays against San Francisco, then in Tampa. The next 2 weeks, just like Juwan Johnson. But the usage is there. The thing is, he can give you a dud. So, but just to let you know, I've been seeing him drop in some leagues or whatever. Here you go, my man right here. He's a nice play. And that's Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper snapped against Green Bay. He had 4 catches for 36 yards and 2 touchdowns, 17.6 half-point fantasy points. Play against Cincinnati week 12. And again, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that too could be a barn burner. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, because if they might not have Mitch, and they're just going to be throwing the ball over the place. And Tennessee would have to be able to catch up. Not just run Derrick Henry on them. Then if they happen to get up on them and Derrick Henry get in boat race, they have to throw it a lot. So they'll be throwing the Treylon Burks and then Austin Hooper up underneath and stuff. So he's a good play as well. So the 4 wide receivers, 4 tight ends, Juwan Johnson, Dawson Knox, Taysom Hill, and Austin Hooper. Get one of them jokers if you need it. Don't be slipping. Now for the kickers. Quick and simple. I don't know why I feel like doing that. I'm just feeling good today, guys. Feeling good this evening. Jason Myers is a great pickup this week, coming off the bye. I had him in one of my leagues. I kept him because I didn't want to get rid of him. Jason Myers for Seattle is a great play this week. Playing against the Raiders, so should get a lot of juice. Jason Sanders for Miami, he's a great pickup. Playing against Houston, should have plenty of opportunity. Robert Gould against the Saints, and Brandon McManus against Carolina. Brandon McManus gave me 14 points last week. Yeah, so he's a great play as well. Kickers, boom, let's get it. Jason Myers, Jason Sanders, Robert Gould, and Brandon McManus. All right, man, don't slip on them. I guarantee like 3 of those dudes gonna have double digits. Don't slip on that. All right, and the other one might have 8. It's just, all these are freaking good matchups. Defenses, man, some great defensive options out here, man. People getting lucky, man. I remember sometimes looking for defense. I'm like, man, ain't jack out here, man. But it's like 5 defenses out here you can pick up this week and play confidently. So you got Jets. That's a defense here out there that play against Chicago. Again, we may not know what's up with Justin Fields. May not play, maybe this backup quarterback. It's going to be a feast for the Jets. Washington against Atlanta. That's a good matchup. Washington. Broncos against Carolina. That's going to be because it might Darnold look like he's going to come back. He's going to play since Baker's pretty much out of the freaking situation and is washed up. Well, he's been washed. And Miami's defense against Houston, and at home against Houston, and Kansas City against the Rams, against the second-string quarterback because Matthew Stafford's not going to be playing. Hella good defense. Defenses, again, are Jets, Washington, the Broncos, Miami Dolphins, and Kansas City Chiefs. This is flawless fantasy freaking football. Guys, get this week. Keep your head up, man. Stay fearless, stay flawless. I mean that crap, man. Stay positive and put in your best lineup. Do it. Flawless fantasy football. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.